Traffic was light for a concert night.
Make the Stallion show scheduled for tonight at State Farm Arena has been postponed.
As Friday's Megan Thee Stallion concert was postponed because of a massive water main break in Atlanta.
I am so upset. I came from Houston. My flight is supposed to leave tomorrow, so I'm just, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
2 hours before the star was set to take the stage, State Farm Arena put out an announcement that the concert would be rescheduled for Sunday night.
They postponed the show,
Leaving hundreds of fans saddened and scrambling with what to do next.
When we came here, I felt like the energy was off in the first place, so I think they knew before we knew, and then we found out, we realized why everybody was a little off.
Across town at the Krog Street Market, Armand Pouillon's date night was off to a sluggish start.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to freshen up the way I usually do because water was barely coming out of my shower head. I had barely any water coming out of my faucet.
With several businesses and restaurants shut down, Pouillon says the area looked like a ghost town.
Have you ever seen it so empty on a Friday night in the
Absolutely
summer?
not, man. I'm very used to Krog.
I'm Sierra Cummings outside of Grady Memorial Hospital, where the water main break caused Grady to cancel all elective and non-urgent procedures today. You can tell it's not much of a commotion, but some people had to leave or were told to stay home as a result of this water disruption. Now, physicians here say although the water was disrupted, patient service was not. Patient safety remained a priority. If you've got a true emergency health situation, they are still accepting patients in the ER room.
This water treatment plant was built in 1942 and is the only plant for the entire county. So without it, there would be no water for the million residents and workers in DeKalb County.
There are components that exist today that are still remnants of that 1942 plant.
That's why DeKalb County officials say upgrading this water plant is the #1 priority for the watershed department. It's a $250 million project, but modernizing this facility will result in a 60% increase in drinking water storage and create a more reliable water system.
That includes providing 60% more storage capacity of drinking water for the community, and that's huge. When you have a single source of water, you need to have some redundancies and some additional storage on site to provide for the community.
The director for the water project in DeKalb County, Maria Hauser, says plans to replace this plant go back to the 1990s, but were never finished. Now officials want to do that, along with replacing miles of aging pipes that go back 70 years. That's part of a $4.4 billion plan for a growing county.
If you don't get things right at the water treatment plant, nothing else matters.
Upgrading the plant will help decrease water main breaks in the county as well. Hauser says all of that begins with upgrading the water plant.
The pressure for the water system starts at the water treatment plant. So if we get things fixed there at the water treatment plant and we continue on fixing items in the system, we will have less pressures in the systems, which tend to lead to breaks.
DeKalb County is unique in that there's only one plant for the entire county. Hauser says the county surpasses all federal and state drinking water quality standards, and it's important for her to keep that going.
Water source drives civilization. It's a fundamental aspect of us existing.
So the priority is to upgrade this plant and replace all those pipes by 2050. In DeKalb County, Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.
All right, everyone, we are now going to switch gears to your forecast, your first alert forecast for the week, a new week and a new forecast pattern on the way, entering into a much more summer-like pattern, which ultimately means it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, and we'll have that chance for mainly afternoon and evening storms as we head through the next few days. Good news is no first alert weather days, so it doesn't look like we'll have any day that will necessarily impact you in a big way, but just like it is every year in the summer here in Georgia, just expect that chance for afternoon storms. So for kids who are maybe headed to summer camp this week, or if they have sports practice, or you're maybe heading to grab some lunch, go to the pool, just keep your eyes to the skies. Have the First Alert Weather app handy. That'll let you know if storms are headed your way. And then you kind of move inside for a few minutes until that passes and go back out You know the drill in the summertime, everyone. So let's talk about it. As we go through the day today, expect partly sunny skies. Some parts of the day you could see a good bit of sunshine, and then clouds will roll back through. So a good mix of sun and clouds through your Monday. As we head past 3 o'clock, that's will introduce the chance for really just isolated showers and thunderstorms. No organized severe weather is expected today or any day of the week for that matter. But with any kind of summer-like heat and humidity, we have plenty of fuel for storms to gain strength. You'll see those really tall cumulonimbus clouds form in the sky. So we'll have the fuel for at least storms to carry some gusty wind, heavy rain, and also some frequent lightning. But again, no organized severe weather is expected at this time. But as you're headed home, here's a look at 5 o'clock. Traveling home from work a little later today, expect the chance for some isolated showers and thunderstorms that, again, could carry some heavier downpours. Just be ready for that. Be mindful of that as you're making your way out and about. A few of those storms could linger into the late evening and overnight. So as you are, eating dinner, headed to bed tonight, you might hear a few rumbles of thunder, especially within Metro. Not, again, going to impact your plans in a big way, but just something to be mindful of. We'll do it all over again tomorrow. And look to the north, up towards Tennessee, as that little wave is kind of moving along the Alabama-Tennessee line there. We're watching these little short waves to come around a high-pressure center that's to our west. We call it the Ring of Fire. You've probably heard us talk about it before. Essentially, we're on the periphery of that. So storm complexes could steer into our forecast in tandem with those isolated afternoon thunderstorms from the heat of the day. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But nonetheless, we'll kind of do it all over again tomorrow. Best coverage of storms north of the city tomorrow, especially with that little thunderstorm complex that could move in from the west. It doesn't look like that's necessarily going to impact Metro, but that could change. Those are really difficult to forecast. So tomorrow, just a slightly higher coverage of showers and storms. And then as we head into Wednesday, same song and dance. Morning is quiet. Afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms do fire back up. Wednesday is the wettest day of the week so far. Again, about a 50% coverage of showers and storms. If at this point you have any plans to head to the pool, maybe, again, the kids are at summer camp, just be mindful that afternoon showers and storms do look fairly likely for Wednesday. And as we head into Thursday, this is kind of our last day we'll be watching for showers and storms, because then our pattern will shift again. We will have essentially the chance for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, and it's all ahead of a cold front this time. So it's not simply our diurnal heat of the day showers and thunderstorms, or those thunderstorm complexes riding along the ridge of high pressure. This is going to all be out ahead of a front. So Thursday, we'll have the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms, about a 30% coverage, and then we'll have a really nice end to the week. Let's talk about temperatures as well. They're going to stay hot. So mid-80s today, low 80s tomorrow, and upper 80s Wednesday. It will feel a touch warmer each day because of that humidity. But again, warm and hot, really hot. Hot and unsettled is the name of the game as we go through the next several days. Let's take you through Futurecast here. We're going to look at one of our forecast models. Thursday, again, that front moves through, and then we are dry by Friday. And not only are we dry, but our humidity also drops. It is going to be spectacular. We'll go from really sticky, soupy with the afternoon showers and thunderstorms, and then Friday we'll have a nice breeze. The humidity will drop through the day, and I'm going to show you here. Notice we'll stay really humid through Thursday, and then as we head into Friday and Saturday, that dry air continues to move in, and it is going to be super comfortable over the weekend. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not going to feel fall-like out there, but it'll feel kind of like spring rather than summer as we head into the upcoming weekend, really starting Friday. So if you haven't made any plans yet for the upcoming weekend, I would start making plans and do something outside. I'm trying to think of all the events happening this weekend. I believe Virginia Highlands has their Summerfest this weekend. Of course, going and seeing the Beltline, walking that. Botanical Gardens has a really beautiful display right now. This weekend would just be spectacular to be outside and enjoy all the wonderful things that the city has to offer, and even some of our suburbs. It's been a really, really wonderful weekend. There's plenty of farmers markets open. I'm giving you ideas. Let's think about the weekend already, shall we? Because the weather's just going to be spectacular for it. So again, we'll have afternoon scattered showers and thunderstorms each day. It's going to be quite warm, very humid with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. And then Thursday, our shower and storm activities out ahead of a cold front that will move through Thursday night into very early Friday morning. But as it moves through North Georgia, not going to bring us a whole lot of rain. And then we will be a little breezy, and we'll have that humidity drop through the day on Friday. It'll just be overall a really super, super nice day. Here's a look at your First Alert 7-day forecast. So again, as we head through the next few days, expect our coverage of rain to stay fairly scattered between 30 to 50% through Thursday. Wettest day of the week is on Wednesday. We haven't issued a First Alert weather day for that because this is your afternoon summertime storms. We're used to it this time of year. We're not expecting any severe weather. We're not expecting anything in the ways of flooding. Definitely could carry some heavy rain in any of the storms that form over the next several days, but not going to have a huge impact. We're simply heading into a summer pattern that we are very used to here in North Georgia. And then again, Thursday, those showers and storms are all out ahead of a front that will bring us some super pleasant weather for the weekend. So I encourage you to get out and enjoy the weekend. The mornings, overnight lows are going to stay extremely warm and muggy with temperatures near 70 degrees all the way through Friday morning. Saturday, a lot of us will wake up in the low 60s in downtown Atlanta, the mid 60s with highs in the mid 80s on Saturday. Sunday, we'll have a lot of sunshine and temperatures in the upper 80s. So it's still going to be hot. It just won't be quite as humid, which we know good and well makes a really, really big difference for us here. So hang in there the next few days. It's going to be hot, humid, and just slightly stormy. And then as we head into, again, this upcoming weekend, that humidity drops in a big way. I think that's going to be the big story this week, is ultimately that we have some really comfortable air, especially up in the mountains. If you planned a trip maybe to the mountains this weekend, heading camping, I believe there are a lot of summer camps that go on up in the mountains. This is going to just be a picture-perfect weekend to be up there. If you've been waiting to do maybe a hike up in the North Georgia mountains, this weekend would be the weekend to do it. There's not many times where we get a drop in humidity. Again, not going to feel fall-like, but not many times we get a drop in humidity this time of year. We are in June. We're heading closer to the official start of summer. So just something that we will be really grateful to have. And I'm actually going to look, how many days until the official start of summer? How many days until the start of summer? Let's look at that. Start of summer. I believe it's only like 2 weeks. 17 days until the official start of summer. That's on June 20th. That's when the summer solstice happens. And then, of course, after that, we'll be heading closer to the fall equinox. So our days will start to get at least a little shorter. Longest day of the year is the summer solstice. And then our days will start to get a little shorter. And then after the fall equinox, we of course head into the winter solstice, which is our shortest days of the year. I was saying, I'm like, we're already in June, y'all. It's halfway through the year. We're going to start seeing Christmas decorations in Target next week. So just prepare yourself. At least Thanksgiving decorations. But anyway, summer officially starts in 17 days. It'll feel very summer-like this week, and then we'll have a nice drop in humidity for you over the weekend. Still going to stay warm, but a lot more comfortable. We'll have a nice breeze to work with Friday that could linger into Saturday. Saturday morning will be a great morning if you're lucky enough to have like a back patio, back porch, to just go and hang out on it and drink your coffee, because it's just going to be really, really comfortable on Saturday morning. So essentially, we are waiting, by the way, giving you our forecast a little early than normally do here on ANF Plus at 10 o'clock. We're waiting on a press conference that is supposed to happen at 10:30 about the ongoing water main break issues in the heart of Midtown. I'm sure a lot of you have been keeping up with that throughout the morning. If you were watching us on Atlanta News First this morning, we are giving you some alternate routes. If you live in Midtown, I'll just reiterate that while I have you here listening to your forecast. Spring Street, the issue, of course, if you live in the area affected, you know good and well where it is. But West Peachtree between 10th and 14th, your alternate route to get around that is physically Peachtree Street, not obviously West Peachtree, but Peachtree Street. And there's some video from earlier this morning, still very active scene. You can also use Spring. You can use Northside Drive and, of course, the downtown connector, and kind of use the exits off the downtown connector to help you get around it. So, again, we are waiting on a press conference that is supposed to start at 10:30, and we have extensive coverage on the way throughout the day here on Atlanta News First. Our reporters have a full lineup today to get you covered on every angle and just keep you informed and updated on exactly what's happening in Midtown. So enjoy your day today, guys. Stay cool and comfy. If you have kids headed to summer camp today, just make sure they're bringing plenty of water. Something with electrolytes, a really good idea as we head into the summer months that can give you a little extra boost in hydration over the next several days. But again, enjoy the beautiful, beautiful day, even though it's going to be a little hot and humid. We're going to wait on Atlanta News First anchor Joy Lim-Nakrin. She's going to have you covered within the next couple of minutes here on the latest for the water main break. And Joy is here to give you everything you need to know. Joy.
Yep. All right. So that is our top story that we're following right now is what's happening with that water main break in the heart of Atlanta. Sorry, I'm just trying to get some graphics up here so that we can get you a full description of what exactly is happening. But here's a look at the scene where crews have been busy working overnight to repair the water main breaks in the heart of the city that are still affecting residents this morning. One of those breaks doing damage in Midtown. When this break first happened over the weekend, it busted out a window actually at the 11th Street pub. Overnight, crews worked to fix the breaks, work on West Peachtree and 11th Street to cause water interruption. And the Department of Watershed Management sent out a notification just after midnight saying that crews would shut off two key water mains, a 36-inch main and a 30-inch main, so no water overnight for the businesses and the people who live along 11th Street from West Peachtree to Peachtree and West Peachtree from 10th to 12th. And as far as traffic this morning, signs are posted to get you around. You heard Courtney talk about this a little bit. Drivers and pedestrians advised to avoid the area altogether. No clear indication for restoration at this time, but obviously it is very much a work in progress at this time. At the same time, I do want to let you know that, we are, as we've been reporting to you, it has been having some impact not only on businesses in the area, but of course Grady Memorial Hospital and Emory University Hospital. They're going to resume normal operations after the impacts from the water main breaks. That doesn't mean that the water is fully restored. My colleague Asia Wilson has put together a report on the impacts there. Apologize, I'm just working to get that report. And again, this is a work in progress, and we are expecting an update live from officials a short time from now at around 10:30. In the meantime, here's a little bit of a look on the latest with this water main break.
Traffic was light for a concert night.
Make the Stallion show scheduled for tonight at State Farm Arena has been postponed.
As Friday's Megan Thee Stallion concert was postponed because of a massive water main break in Atlanta.
I am so upset. I came from Houston. My flight is supposed to leave tomorrow, so I'm just, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
2 hours before the star was set to take the stage, State Farm Arena put out an announcement that the concert would be rescheduled for Sunday night.
They postponed the show.
Leaving hundreds of fans saddened and scrambling with what to do next.
When we came here, I felt like the energy was off in the first place, so I think they knew before we knew, and then we realized why everybody was a little off.
Across town at the Krog Street Market, Armand Pouillon's date night was off to a sluggish start.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to freshen up the way I usually do because water was barely coming out of my shower head. I had barely any water coming out of my faucet.
With several businesses and restaurants shut down, Pouillon says the area looked like a ghost town.
Have you ever seen it so empty on a Friday night in the summer?
Absolutely not, man. I'm very used to Krog. I'm very used to this area, and this is a letdown, to be honest.
Back outside of State Farm Arena, Corey Corradu plans on doing whatever it takes to attend Sunday's rescheduled concert.
I'm supposed to work on Sunday, but we'll make that work. I'm sure I will not go to work because this is my priority, but what sucks is that I gotta do that again in 2 days.
Yeah, and obviously this is an issue that
traffic was light for a
going, and we're going to keep following that. I also want to let you know about an important trial beginning today in a murder case that really shook Gwinnett County. A former police officer accused of killing 16-year-old girl that you just saw there, Susanna Morales. Well, Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm tells us jury selection is set to begin, or is it probably underway right now.
Y'all sit up. This is a case that terrified a lot of families. A teenage girl walking home from a friend's house disappeared. 7 months later, someone stumbled across her body in some woods 20 miles away. Let's refresh your memory. This is Susanna Morales. She was 16 years old. She vanished in July of 2022 after leaving the Sterling Glen Apartments near Norcross, and she was found in February of 2023 off Highway 316 near Decula. Soon afterward came another shocker. A Doraville police officer, Miles Bryant, was charged with Susanna's murder. Investigators tell us they found his service weapon, which he had reported stolen, not far from where the girl's remains were found. They believe he dropped it there while dumping her body. A year after Susanna's disappearance, her mother spoke with reporters who asked her what she misses most about her daughter.
Yo la extraño, yo la quiero. Everything. I don't think there's anything particular that I already don't miss about my daughter. I miss her every day. I want her here with me.
Jury selection begins today. We will update you as the trial goes on. At the Gwinnett County Courthouse, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
Thank you so much to Rebecca for that report. Now, another story that we are following right now, 8 people are now recovering from the shooting at a DeKalb strip club, a very popular strip club apparently. So 8 people still recovering from the shooting that happened, and faith leaders are really concerned about gun violence as well as we begin summer. Atlanta News First, Bridget Spencer reports.
It was early Sunday morning when shots rang out at Pinup Strip Club in Decatur. DeKalb County police say they found 3 people suffering from gunshots. They were taken to the hospital, and 5 others were tracked down at other area hospitals. 2 of the injured were taken into custody as suspects, police say.
We don't have the luxury to loiter or to wait. We got to do this now.
Reverend Darrell Winston is one of the faith leaders with the Save Our City Coalition. His group is working to stop the violence in Metro Atlanta and even enacted an initiative called the 10-Point Plan for Peace.
We must do something about this violence-soaked culture that in many cases is being celebrated.
The shooting at Pinups comes on the heels of another club shooting, 1145 in Buckhead, where 2 people were murdered. The Reverend says people, especially the youth, need nonviolent conflict resolution. He now fears what the summer months may hold if nothing is done.
I am concerned that it's going to rise as the summer continues, as the summer unfolds. We've seen children as young as 13 and 14 with weapons, and this trend, unfortunately, is headed in the wrong direction.
Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
Well, look at the scene here for the 35th annual Atlanta Pride Run. It was a record turnout at yesterday's event. Atlanta News First anchor Megan Packer tells us how the 5K in Piedmont Park is raising awareness and also funds for a very important cause.
This year's theme for the Atlanta Pride Run is right where you belong. And for 3,000 people participating in the 5K, there's no other place they wanted to be on their Sunday morning than in Piedmont Park for this event dedicated to creating a welcoming environment for all.
But to see this many people out here just being so happy and loving to each other and then being able to give back so much to these beneficiaries is great.
It was a colorful celebration that included people of all ages and even their 4-legged friends.
The music, everybody's so positive, everybody's in a great mood, it's just a lot of fun.
Atlanta News First is a proud media partner of the charity 5K Run and Walk that raises awareness and money for people impacted by HIV. This year, they raised more than $120,000.
We're talking about organizations that help people with AIDS, HIV, youth that are homeless, people that simply just need that extra help.
Atlanta News First investigative reporter Andy Parati served as the MC. He has watched this race grow each year from 650 people in 2019 to the 3,000 who laced up their sneakers today.
They're all truly making a huge difference.
Runners and walkers were inspired by the cheers and sense of community.
It's really great to have everyone supporting each other. You could just feel like a real enthusiasm for like whatever we were going to do. We're all in it together, so it just made it a lot more fun.
I am exactly where I belong. Yes, it feels really nice to know that this is exactly where we should be.
Megan Packer, Atlanta News First.
Thanks so much to Megan for that report. Okay, I want to share with you this Better Call Harry report because there is a warning here. It's moving season. A lot of people are moving. And Atlanta News First investigates Better Call Harry, wants to make sure that you don't fall for a lowball estimate. It happens all the time. Hire the wrong company and they could really double, even triple your estimate on moving day. Here's Harry.
Our recent investigation was about a retired couple who said their moving company blindsided them on moving day when it doubled the price. We want to make sure that does not happen to you.
And it was a disaster.
James and Judy McMillan were in a jam. It was moving day, and the head mover raised the price, $2,150 to $4,300. It's not like they had a lot of stuff.
The chair, the TV, the sofa, lamp.
I don't even know what that is. One reason the price doubled is that the movers relied on an emailed list of contents and a phone call. The sales guy used that information to calculate cubic footage.
What we did with the box is we came up with a number of about 15.
But how can a salesman estimate cubic footage based on items he can't see? He could have requested a video, and many companies do. That would help. But if you really want to safeguard your move, there is a better way. It starts with a search for an established, locally owned mover. And I'll bet if you ask your online neighborhood group, you'll get an answer. Or you could start with this list at the Georgia Movers Association's website. Type in your zip code and you'll get an address list near you. Let's look at Barnes Van Lines in Carrollton, for example. They have longtime employees, it owns its trucks, and the necessary equipment to pack and move you safely. And if you go to their website, you'll see a building with their logo. Here's another example. I Googled the address for Nelson Westerberg, it's an Atlas franchise, and look at the street view. There they are with a building and marked trucks. Plus, when I checked the Better Business Bureau, they had 0 complaints and 36 years in business. So why are buildings, moving equipment, and longtime staff important? Would you rather have that or this?
So I put them in a couple different sizes. I made sure there was 5 medium, 5 large, 5 China.
If the mover's address is an unmarked office suite or the owner's rental property, that is a reason for concern. Some takeaways for you. Find a mover that provides a binding quote. Not everyone does, but a good mover is going to give you an estimate that's pretty close. And if you are moving within Georgia, the mover must have state licensing. And last thing, there are many movers and moving brokers. Many moving brokers online look like real moving companies with pictures of fancy trucks, but in reality, they book your move with a crew you know nothing about, and they arrive in a truck that may not even be marked. That increases the risk that the price goes up, and even worse, they could take your stuff hostage until you pay. I'm Better Call Harry. Atlanta News First investigates.
Thanks to Harry for that report. Okay, so I want to let you know that the CDC is now reporting a third person has tested positive for the bird flu. A lot of growing concern about this virus now. The Atlanta-based CDC now confirming this third human case for this rare disease. Doctors say your risk of contracting the illness is still fairly low. Atlanta News First Patrick Quinn reports.
The risk of transmission for the bird flu remains low here in Georgia. Of course, anytime you hear respiratory illness, you think COVID, but officials here at the CDC, they were quick to pump the brakes, saying we are nowhere near that type of outbreak. But yes, a third person has tested positive for the bird flu connected to this dairy outbreak.
This third case means that we should be alert, not alarmed.
3 cases in the last 2 months. Overnight, CDC officials in Atlanta confirmed another dairy farm worker in Michigan has tested positive for the H5N1 virus, or the bird flu, tied to a dairy outbreak.
Cows are regularly transported across the country. And so as cows that have been infected with H5 move, workers are infected.
Now 1 farmer in Texas and 2 in Michigan have tested positive. All are expected to be okay. I spoke one-on-one with Dr. Nirav D. Shah, Principal Deputy Director at the CDC. He said his team confirmed the sample in their labs. Cattle in 9 states have tested positive for the virus.
The lion's share of them have been negative.
Georgia does not have any infected cattle. though Dr. Shaw said dairy farmers are still the most at risk of exposure.
If you work on a farm in Georgia, even though there haven't been any herds that have tested positive, it's still worthwhile to talk about and think about whether you ought to be wearing PPE, whether it's goggles, glasses, or gloves to reduce your chances of being infected.
Dr. Shaw said if you drink milk or eat dairy products, you are not at risk of infection because pasteurization has proven to kill the virus. And this third dairy farmer to test positive for the bird flu, he's now taking prescription flu medicine. He's expected to be okay. From the CDC here in Atlanta, Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
Thanks so much to Patrick for that report. Okay, I want to just show you again this video of this water main break in the heart of Atlanta. Obviously caused a lot of issues. Crews have been busy working overnight dealing with this. And, you know, the repairs have certainly been affecting residents. One of those breaks doing some damage in Midtown. When this break first happened over the weekend, busted out a window at the 11th Street pub. And, you know, overnight crews were working to fix those breaks, work on West Peachtree and 11th Street, causing water interruption. The Department of Watershed Management sent out a notification just after midnight saying that crews would shut off 2 key water mains, a 36-inch main and a 30-inch main. So no water overnight for businesses and people who live along 11th Street from West Peachtree to Peachtree, and also West Peachtree from 10th to 12th, and really frustrating for a lot of people. Signs are posted to get you to avoid that area. Drivers, pedestrians are advised to avoid the area altogether. No clear indication for restoration. So I want to let you know, just looking live here, we are awaiting an update from officials at any moment now on just what's happening with this water main break. So we're going to bring you here live. This is a live look right now where we are waiting for a press conference to begin at any moment. And you can see crews on the scene. You can see multiple work trucks on the scene. And again, we are awaiting that update at any moment now. So I'm going to take you to that whenever that begins. But in the meantime, let's get to some other news that we have been following as well. So, apologize, I'm just taking a moment to switch video because I'm multitasking here. Okay, let me show you some video from this plant, this power plant, a nuclear power plant specifically. Well, a scathing report is now claiming that your energy bills could go up by $420 each year because of this brand new nuclear energy plant. Georgia officials praised the plant Vogtle project as the newest and largest producer of nuclear energy in the country, but Atlanta News First reporter Abby Kasoris is diving into the new warning for your wallet.
Plant Vogtle could be called a success story or a cautionary tale. In this 40-page report, consumer groups compiled data on why they say the project is bad for people living in Georgia. They say the customers are paying for the mistakes and the companies in charge.
Since January, so 5 months.
Patty Duran, founder of Cool Planet Solutions, one of the report's authors, says point blank, Plant Vogtle is a disaster.
Independent calculations show that the Vogtle bills, the bills related to Vogtle's costs, will be $35 more a month, a factor of 4 times higher than what anyone else has been saying.
The project finished 7 years late and $17 billion over budget. Governor Brian Kemp says while delays and added costs are frustrating, the state is able to use Vogtle to attract companies looking to invest in clean energy.
Because of Vogtle 3 and 4, we are actually on the offensive. We are open for business. People around the country know that.
I think it's highly offensive that he would say that because the bill hasn't even come due yet.
Kim Scott with Georgia Women Actions for New Directions says more than 20,000 power customers are disconnected in the state every month.
When Georgians are worried about inflation, Georgians are worried about how they're going to pay not only their power bills, but where they're going to stay. And you're not providing safe and reasonable energy like you stated that you would.
We asked Georgia Power to review some of the statements and data.
All right, taking a moment to talk about our St. Jude Dream Home giveaway. And, you know, we've been telling you about this amazing home, some really incredible prizes that you could win. And this home that we're talking about, which is incoming, beautiful neighborhood, it's valued at $675,000. It is truly a dream home. So I want to take a moment now to also look at some of the other prizes. And just remind you that the proceeds do all benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. But it's not just a dream home up for grabs, and it's not just this wonderful gesture of giving to an amazing charity. There's a brand new hot tub that you could also win as well. Atlanta News First, Tracy Hutchins checked out the brand new hot tub.
This is the Michael Phelps LSX 900. This is by far one of the largest hot tubs we have here in the store.
And it is fully loaded. Cody Blake Austin, owner of Atlanta Spa and Leisure, walked me through all of the features of what could be your new relaxation station.
So when they get inside of the spa, joints are all stiff, they loosen up, they can move again, they feel young again.
This St. Jude Dream Home giveaway prize, worth more than $20,000, has top-of-the-line features including Wi-Fi capability, LED lights, and waterfall fountains. 72 jets will massage your body from shoulders to toes in 6 separate seated positions.
One of my favorite chairs, though, in the entire spa is the corner seat. And the corner seat is the shiatsu massage seat.
So, Cody, how many people could fit in this spa comfortably?
Comfortably, you're going to fit 6 to 8 adults on the interior.
That's the whole family.
It is the whole family. You're exactly right. When families get in, they're able to converse with one another and really have that what used to be, dinner time, family table talk. And so it's very important to them too that, hey, if we got our kids in here, we're actually having conversations again.
And Cody says upkeep isn't a concern with this spa.
It cleans itself a lot like the way your refrigerator does. If you have a drinking pitcher on it, water comes out, it's clean, it's purified. You change that mineral cartridge once every 6 months and you're good to go.
Would this be the Ferrari of spas?
We're going straight to the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, the Porsche, yes.
All of this luxury could be yours when you get your tickets to the St. Jude Dream Home giveaway. Each ticket purchased helps St. Jude Children's Research Hospital treat children with cancer and other serious illnesses.
It's not just about the kids, it's all the extra support that they give to everybody across the board, and that's very important to us and something we wanted to be a part of. This is the Michael Phelps LSX 900. This is by...
All right, so here's a look at the St. Jude campus. And again, all the proceeds go to benefit the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, helping children with cancer, and really saving lives and working to find a cure, but also treatments and trying to improve lives. So again, if you want to reserve your ticket, you text the words Dream Home to 470-777 WANF, and you'll get a direct link to buy tickets sent right to your phone. We've been talking about, the amazing prizes and all that, and that's all true. But Atlanta News First anchor Tracy Hutchins shares how it's really a chance to help St. Jude Children's Research Hospital take care of patients and their families.
No parent should ever bury their child. Never.
It is a painful thought for parents with children diagnosed with a potentially fatal illness. When a brain tumor threatened Allison Fletcher's life, her mother Emily found hope hundreds of miles away from their home in Jefferson, Georgia. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis lifted the family's burden.
When they called and he said, okay, I need you to get here, and they had a coordinator call me and said, okay, we're going to put you on this flight. This is where you're going to spend the night. We've got meal vouchers for this. I need you to show up at this store. And they literally hand walked us through every part of St. Jude, especially folks that maybe have hourly jobs or things like that. They're having to make the decision, do I sit with my child in the hospital or do I quit my job because I can't pay my rent and I can't pay my mortgage? And those kind of decisions, St. Jude just comes right in and says, don't worry, we've got all of you. We can help you through this.
Do you think you would have been able to get through it without St. Jude?
I don't think Allison would be alive without St. Jude. So you can get through anything as long as your child's with you. But if you lose your child, it doesn't matter, does it?
Tracy Hutchins, Atlanta News First.
And So if you want to support this amazing cause, again, you can go to atlantanewsfirst.com/dreamhome. That's atlantanewsfirst.com/dreamhome for all the information on how you can enter, the prizes available. The other thing you can do is reserve your ticket by texting the words Dream Home to 470-777-WANF. So text the words Dream Home to 470-777-WANF. Okay, let me show you live. Once again, we are awaiting a press conference at any moment to begin now about the water main break that has caused so many problems in the heart of Atlanta. And, you know, you see that the podium is set up for officials to give their update on how the repairs are going. Certainly has been causing a lot of issues, and crews have been working overnight to resolve this issue. Many people have gone without water because of it. So again, this is something that is a work in progress. Let me show you some footage from the scene. So again, we're talking about this break in one of those breaks doing damage in Midtown. There were multiple water main breaks actually, but this break first happened over the weekend. It busted out a window at the 11th Street pub, and overnight crews worked to fix the breaks, work on Peachtree and West Peachtree Street from 10th to 12th. No water overnight for businesses and people who live along 11th Street from West Peachtree to Peachtree. So major headache. Work on the West Peachtree and 11th Street area has been causing water interruption. The Department of Watershed Management sent out a notification just after midnight that crews would shut off 2 key water mains, a 36-inch main and a 30-inch main as well. But meanwhile, you're being asked to avoid this area. All right, I want to point you to our website, atlantanewsfirst.com, because we actually break down, I should say, how many water main breaks have there been, and it answers that there have so far been 2 major water main breaks and a handful of smaller ones, and it tells you here on our website who has been affected, and it tells you, very importantly, yes, there is still a boil water advisory in effect. Again, there is a boil water advisory still in effect. Saturday afternoon, officials extended this advisory into part of Midtown, and the Department of Watershed Management says that the advisory will remain in place until the break in Midtown has been fixed. So it shows you on the map this impacted area. People in need of water can get water in a few of these locations on atlantanewsfirst.com. We have that listed. You can pick up 1 case per resident at the following fire stations: at Station 1, 71 Elliott Street; at Station 2, that's 1568 Jonesboro Road; at Station 10, that's 447 Boulevard Southeast; at Station 11, that's 165 16th Street; at Station 15, that is 170 10th Street; at Station 16, you can pick up water, and that's at 1048 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard. And there are also porta potties available at those stations as well, because that's the other thing you have to think about when there is not water, of course. Okay, let me show you live here on the scene. And you can see that crews are working, to repair the break. And you see this vehicle, the City of Atlanta's Department of Watershed Management, there on the scene. And, it's definitely a work in progress. So we are getting questions, when is water going to get restored? And obviously the city is getting the questions. So water has been restored to many of the affected areas, but it's still a work in progress. They're still working to fix the second major break. They were able to fix on Saturday night, they were able to repair the break at Joseph E. Boone Boulevard and James P. Brawley Drive. But work is still underway to repair the second major break at 11th Street and West Peachtree. So we're just watching live here, and we are expecting at any moment now an update from officials. And, you know, on X, formerly known as Twitter, Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens said crews are working nonstop to fix these issues, which is what we've seen. And again, the crew's still working on fixing the second major break at 11th Street and West Peachtree Street Northwest. So, want to let you know that Atlanta Public Schools canceled their summer school and summer programs for today. You probably know that if you're a parent that had plans for your kids to be involved in that for today. And this is all due to the ongoing water issues. They have sent out a note. It says, "Dear APS families and staff, please be advised of operational changes due to the water main breakages impacting the city. Summer school and summer programs will not be held tomorrow, but will reconvene once the boil water advisories have been lifted." And this was when they say tomorrow, meaning today, because that was sent out last night. And so it goes on to say, let me show it to you. Put that up on your screen so you can actually look at it for yourself. It goes on to say, at this time, all affected areas remain under a boil water advisory, which will be lifted once the city is provided authorization from the Georgia Environmental Protection Division. Therefore, we ask for your patience and understanding as we pivot for our students and staff safety. Additionally, all employees, except for essential facility staff, should plan to work remotely June 3rd, 2024. Please note, the convening of the June Atlanta Board of Education meeting will proceed in person. We assure you that we will take necessary precautions for your safety. Bottled water will be provided to all participants and attendees. Thank you for your understanding and support as we navigate this unexpected occurrence. All of this from Atlanta Public Schools. And you see Mayor Andre Dickens posted some video overnight of his visit to the site on West Peachtree Street. Just showing you that. And again, we're just waiting an update from Mayor Andre Dickens and crews on what's happening with this water main break. And, you know, people want to know when can they use their normal travel routes? When are they going to get water back? Here's a live look as we are waiting. Crews, the mayor, and I should say not necessarily crews, but we are waiting an update from city officials on the status of this. And this is at West Peachtree Street in Fulton County, which is, you know, where repairs are underway right now. So, of course, a lot of questions about when service is going to be restored. But in the meantime, again, the important thing to know is that you can pick up water. That's one thing. Well, let me say that differently. First of all, I need you to know there's a boil water advisory in effect. That's number one. That's the number one thing you need to know. And where do you do from there? Where do you get your water? Here's the map. You can see on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. That is the impacted area. If you live and work in that area, you are under a boil water advisory. You need to boil your water before you drink it. If not, you might get sick. If you need water, here is a list of locations where you can get water. And you can pick up water for free, okay, at the following fire stations. So that includes Station 1, 71 Elliott Street, Station 2, 1568 Jonesboro Road, Station 10, that's 447 Boulevard Southeast, Station 11, that's 165 16th Street, Station 15, 170 10th Street, Station 16, that's 1048 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard. Porta potties also available at those stations. DeKalb County residents can pick up water at the Atlanta DeKalb Human Services Complex at 30 Warren Street in Atlanta starting at 7 a.m. today. And obviously it's well past 7 a.m., so you should be able to pick up there if that is what you need to do. In the meantime, I'm going to go to this report put together by my colleague Asia Wilson a little bit earlier this morning, showing you really what we're dealing with.
You're exactly right. Grady tells us, though, with all the impacts, water has been restored and pressure has increased significantly. This after so many people were worried about operations when they saw water tankers being brought in to help with water supply. Now, Grady officials say while they're seeing increased water flow, they will continue to provide bottled water to patients and staff as they remain under a boil water advisory. Now, this comes after they, along with Emory University Hospital Midtown, reported low water pressure and a water shortage over the weekend. At one point, Emory Midtown had to divert some ambulances and move certain patients to other Emory hospitals. And up until yesterday, we saw water tankers outside Grady's Trauma Center, but both hospitals have been working hand in hand with the city throughout all of this. Mayor Andre Dickens spoke about that process at a recent press conference.
We are in communication with our city's hospitals and our other emergency facilities to ensure that they are supported and operational. We've spoken directly with Grady and Emory. They both are accepting patients and fully operational for serving those patients, and they have enough water flow to do what they need to do to keep people safe and healthy.
Now, officials with Fulton County Board of Health say due to all of the water disruptions, some of their facilities will remain closed today. This includes the Center for Health and Rehabilitation and the Neighborhood Union Health Center. In downtown Atlanta, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
And thanks so much to Asia for that report. Okay, another live look here as we are expecting an update from the mayor and other officials on West Peachtree Street on this water main break situation, and you can see that they're having some sort of conversation outside the 11th Street pub, and that was really in the midst of all this. The break first happened over the weekend, and it busted out a window at the 11th Street pub. So that's kind of the scene that we're looking at the moment. And again, we are awaiting an update at any moment from the mayor and other officials as crews continue their work to get the water back on, to get the water safe again, because again, if you are in this area, there is a boil water advisory in effect. Please don't drink the water or you could get sick. So again, you can pick up a case of water at the following fire stations. So one case per resident at Station 1, 71 Elliott Street, Station 2, 1568 Jonesboro Road, Station 10, 447 Boulevard Southeast, Station 11, that's 165 16th Street, Station 15, that's 170 10th Street South, just 170 10th Street, Station 16, that's 1048 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, and there are also porta potties available at those stations. DeKalb County residents can pick up their water at the Atlanta DeKalb Human Services Complex at 30 Warren Street in Atlanta, beginning at 7 a.m. As we're taking a live look here, you see the mayor and other city officials gathered and expected to address this situation live for us at any moment now, because everybody's anxiously waiting. When are we going to get this water back on? When is it going to be safe? We see Mayor Dickens making his way towards the cameras, towards the podium, to give us that live update. And we know, he knows, everybody just wants to be able to get their water back on, drink the water, flush the toilet, take their normal travel routes, all that type of thing. Okay. So here he is. Let's go ahead and listen.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being out here. I wanted to give you all some updates on where we stand. I know we did not have the weekend that Atlantans had planned to have, that our residents, our businesses, our visitors. I know this was an eventful weekend with the two major water main breaks that occurred across our city. And so to our residents, what'd you say? got all these microphones here. So to all of our citizens, we wanted to apologize for the weekend that had a lot of folks having to boil water and a lot of challenges throughout the weekend related to these water main breaks. We are laser focused on this problem, and my administration understands how critical water is for our lifeline in this city. And our crews are working nonstop to address the issue. As you see here, the water main break that occurred on James P. Brawley and Joseph Boone has been completed through multiple rounds of repairs on that aging piece of infrastructure. That was completed on Saturday evening, and we can get the details of exactly when, but that was completed late Saturday afternoon, early evening, and pressure came up and individuals were able to get more water. And now you see this repair that's taking place at 11th Street and West Peach Street. Our main priority is to restore water service to all residents and businesses, and please be assured that we are doing all that we can to provide you with that as well as updates as we go through this process. Right now, we have issued a state of emergency in the city of Atlanta, and that state of emergency allows us to advance quickly purchases that we need to make, services that we need to acquire, and also take on activities that we need to do in a very rapid fashion. So I've declared this a state of emergency at this time. The boil water advisory is still in effect as we work through the repair process right here at 11th Street and West Peach Street. Earlier this morning at around 1 a.m., we were able to start turning off the water. It took a long amount of time to turn off the water, but as you can see, we no longer have that large geyser gushing in the air as we've had for the last few days. So around 6 a.m., 7 a.m. or so, that water went all the way down. I was out here about 2:30 a.m. and it got to about halfway, about waist high. So it's all the way down now, and you can see that operators are in the hole fixing that. And that means that we have water temporarily turned off from 11th Street, this area from 10th Street to 12th Street, as well as West Peach Street to Peachtree Street. These few blocks right here, we have water turned off because they are doing these repairs. So as of this morning, you can see that the repairs are still ongoing and water is no longer gushing in the air. The pipe is being repaired. As we are focused on this area, we are also monitoring our entire infrastructure system to ensure that it is available to everyone. As you know, yesterday, there were some minor breaks that occurred. I was out at two of them, one at 1190 Atlantic Drive and another one at Euclid and North Avenue. Each of those were repaired within an hour to an hour and a half, routine, normal breaks, and we took care of those rapidly. The watershed department did what they do best, which is take care of those problems. Please monitor social media on the City of Atlanta social media and the City of Atlanta's website for more updates. And I want to thank you all for your patience. I want to thank the citizens of Atlanta for your patience. I want to thank the businesses and restaurants for honoring the boil water advisory. But also yesterday we had a full day of activities throughout the city. The world's busiest airport continued to work. 355,000 passengers. We had a soccer match, concerts. Restaurants and businesses were operating yesterday. So thank you for your patience and thank you for working with us through this problem. And I really want to thank the men and women that are out here as operators working right now. Many of them, I saw them at 2:30 in the morning yesterday. I saw some of them at 4:30 in the morning Saturday night, which is Sunday morning. Same guys, rotating crews, and I can see them and talk to them, and they are very committed to fixing this and finishing the job. So I thank them for their dedication to all the men and women of the Atlanta Watershed Department, but also we work as a group project, and I want to turn it over to our COO Burks, and she can tell you about our group efforts as we stood up our Joint Operations Center and worked as the whole of government together. Ms. Burks?
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning. I certainly joined the Mayor in... Okay. Good morning. I certainly joined the Mayor in thanking our residents and businesses and our employees and contractors for the work that they have been doing. Many of you have seen what's been happening on site, but oftentimes you don't see what's happening off site. So I also want to thank our many departments within the city of Atlanta who have pulled together to support the Department of Watershed Management through this crisis. We have pulled in 14 of our city departments to open up our Joint Operations Center. We were there from 4 p.m. till 4 a.m., working the whole of city government in order to provide all of the support that was needed for this particular crisis. Even from helping our police department, helping to get the part here from Alabama by calling on our partners so that we go through traffic to get that part here as soon as possible, to our 311 operators working during non-operating hours, you name it. Across city government, our departments came in, stood strong, and helped out in every kind of way behind the scenes for this particular crisis. And now, before we go forward, I'm going to turn it over to our Fire Chief Smith, who will talk more about the work that we have been doing around supporting our residents with water, doing check-ins around our hotels and businesses. So Fire Chief Smith, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, CEO Burks. Good morning, everyone. I just want to reassure you and the citizens that fire service in the city of Atlanta is uncompromised, and we are here and all fire stations operating at 100% capacity. I'd like to formally thank our mutual aid partners for providing water tankers to assist us in our times of need, and thank all public safety entities that are working with us, such as APD and Corrections. As the COO said, the fire department does not only respond to emergencies, but we are here in times of need. And with that, we have opened 2 additional fire stations to provide water to the citizens of Atlanta. Here in proximity to this location, it will be our fire station number 15, which is in Midtown, and our fire station 11, which is in Atlantic Station. And here shortly, we will be walking the streets, making sure that the citizens are prepared to have water and meet their needs. We ask you, though, if there are any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to call 311 if you need some water, to find a location where you can get some. We ask that you be patient with us because we do run out and we are still running calls. But just reassure you that we will get restocked and those locations will be available. Our code enforcement officers also will be on the streets, and we will be targeting the businesses to ensure that they are in a posture to maintain during this space as best we can. And with that, I will turn it over to our police chief, Chief Sherbo.
Thank you, Chief Smith. Good morning, everyone. Just to reiterate the mayor's reassurance early, the police department remains fully activated and operating. We have not been impacted at all during this time of delivery of services. I do want to commend the men and women who have been working out of police facilities and precincts with the water disruption. When the mayor called for the mobilization of all city departments, we did activate our training section, which normally has Saturday and Sunday off. But those recruits and sworn members reported to duty. They began the delivery of water, the canvassing of neighborhoods, particularly of our senior citizens, and they have worked throughout the weekend and continue to work today. We will remain fully mobilized, using all of our resources within the police department to assist the effort you see behind us, supporting the men and women at the Department of Watershed Management as well as constituent services. I do want to thank our partners at the Georgia State Patrol. Yesterday, there was a vital piece of equipment needed for the repair behind us, and that equipment was in Alabama, which is a little bit of distance from our city. And I do want to thank Colonel Hitchens yesterday for arranging troopers to escort that piece here to the city limits, where your police department picked up that escort and brought that piece here. That is just one example of the work that is being done around the clock by many different facets of city government and our state partners to quickly mitigate this emergency. Please continue to use 311 for any water-related matters and 911 for emergencies. And again, thank you to the men and women of Atlanta Police Department for the extra hours and the exceptional work you've been doing all weekend. And now for our Commissioner of Department of Watershed Management, Al Wiggins.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. We've had an eventful weekend, but we've also made some significant accomplishments. At a very high level, I'd like to recap what has occurred over the weekend, starting with our incident at the intersection of James P. Broadley and Joseph E. Boone, where we had an event where 3 transmission lines intersected at the point of the break, which caused us to have to disrupt service for the areas that receive water supply from those 3 lines. At that time, the mayor made a decision to conduct the repairs post to 5 o'clock when our daytime population increased, and for us to decrease the burden on our customers. When the repairs began, we took a little time to drain the lines because we didn't have as much demand on the system. I want you to understand that the area where the work was being conducted is a confined area, and the infrastructure and the design of the infrastructure was created 80 years ago. Although we've had ongoing projects over the years, the design of that particular infrastructure was created 80 years ago. So while we were there, we identified some inefficiencies in the design of that system. We made some real-time repairs with the design to prevent any future occurrences or leaks at that particular location. I can say that that location has been taken care of. All of the repairs have been completed, and all of our customers have been restored dating back to Sunday evening. So today we have a water main break similar to what we experienced at James P. Brawley and Joseph E. Boone, except we don't have as many transmission lines. However, we have two major lines that intersected. We had a difficult time interrupting water service to this particular location because the valve that would terminate service was directly under the geyser that you viewed over the weekend. So we had to come up with an alternative method to interrupt water supply. And with that method, we wanted to hyper-localize the repairs to prevent anyone from coming offline or being disconnected from water services unnecessarily. This morning at 7 o'clock, we were able to get into the hole after slowly reducing the pressure from our Hemp Hill plant, and also with some devices that we installed here locally. It was important that we took a slow approach to not cause additional damage to our infrastructure. We are pleased with the direction that the repairs are going now. We are, as you can see, excavating the site to facilitate the repairs. We have no reason to believe anything other than this will be a routine repair that we will have completed here soon. I'm happy to address any questions, should you have any, about the ongoing work here at West Peachtree and 11th Street. Yeah, so that's a great question. We have no reason to believe that there's a connection between the two. I want you to understand that we really have not had the opportunity to do a thorough inspection because we had so much water flow in this particular area. As we excavate the site, we will learn more. I'm not saying that there isn't a connection, but at this time, we do not have a reason to believe that there is.
Can you, and I don't know if you're the right person to answer the question, but do you have any sense of how many high-rise buildings still do not have pressure in the city?
So we don't have that number, and please keep in mind the pressure fluctuates as we begin to make certain adjustments to the system, whether it's how we pressurize the system or actuate certain valves. That number fluctuates, but at this particular time, we do not have a number. But I will tell you that we've hyper-localized the repairs to prevent anyone from being disconnected from the system unnecessarily.
There are still buildings downtown that don't have enough pressure to open.
Yeah, so I want to be clear that there are buildings that still have pressure, and it may be that they have decided to not remain open based on their comfort level, but it's not always an indication that they do not have adequate pressure.
Okay, if these pipes are 80 years old and the average lifespan is 50, I mean, why haven't they been replaced on a wider scale before then? Is it a budgetary issue?
So no, that's a great question. And so there is infrastructure, whether it's a head wall or whether it's a main line that are at certain ages, but that doesn't mean that we have not done work. There's always ongoing work, especially when you have development in an area. We add new infrastructure, and the way we make determinations if we need to take on a larger project is we collect data, and if we see a series of breaks or repairs that are necessary, that's when we decide to take on a capital improvement project and to look at the subgrade infrastructure and make significant repairs from there.
When will the water be back on? Any estimated timeline?
Yeah, so in just simple, yes, sir. So in simple, the water will be back on when we facilitate the repairs. I want, and I can appreciate, yes, sir. If you can just allow me to.
22 hours, 36, 72?
Sir, as I mentioned earlier, we cannot give you a definitive answer because we just began the inspection process. So we are working feverishly, as you can see.
What are you planning to do if one of the high-rises catches on fire? What are your contingency plans? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. This way.
A major issue that actually started on Friday when we had several incidences, one at Joseph E. Boone and Brawley Boulevards, where a water main break, it was an intersection of 3 pipes that came together that burst there. They repaired that, but the issue still continues in Midtown.
Yeah, and here we are on Monday now, day 4 of the repairs taking place right now. You could hear some of the frustration from people even asking questions. Wasn't sure if that was a reporter or somebody who just happened to be in the area. But we're talking about aging infrastructure here. 80 years since a lot of this has been put underground. So, you know, people wondering why was it not replaced yet? And then just a heads up for you, if you are in need of water right now, the fire chief did announce that fire station 11 and 15 are now open for you to get water as well.
The city is under a state of emergency, so they can go ahead and purchase the necessary items they need to make these repairs. And the mayor is stressing that they're doing the best they can at this moment, asking everybody to be patient and also thanking them for their support and their patience. And just kind of an FYI, I was looking up some information. DeKalb County just voted to replace part of their pipe system, $4.4 billion to replace just 2,000 miles.
A price tag for sure.
Right.
All right, so we'll return you now to your regularly scheduled programming, but we will have an update for you regarding the crisis that's happening here in the city of Atlanta on Atlanta News First at noon.